Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody doing on this wonderful Friday? Do you have big plans for the weekend? I don't. Just grocery shopping tonight. I know everybody wants to do a barbecue in our house, so we might just have, that's about it. The big plans is a barbecue with just us. But anyways, I made 2 videos yesterday. I lost both videos. I was supposed to do something else today that I was supposed to do a long time ago. But I only have 5 sheets of paper. I don't know how I managed that. I guess being away and everything that happened. So I will have to do that later. What we're going to do is something I've seen. Now I have 2 different ideas. This might be a 3-part video. One, we're going to do, if you want to pause this right now, pause this. Poses, sorry, more French. Pause this. Grab scraps of paper or digitals or book pages, especially if you have really interesting book pages. I don't. I just have your typical book pages, and I probably would never use them. What is going to happen, and I'll show you. And you'll just need a pair of scissors or a ruler to tear or cut. If you don't have scraps, I don't have big enough scraps anymore. All my scraps are teeny weeny. A ruler, if you like to tear with a ruler, or a pair of scissors. Ink, if you like a vintage or a walnut, whatever ink you like to use. I prefer my walnut, but my walnut is dead. I need to buy a new ink pad. And last time I checked in Amazon Canada, I could not get it. So I'm hoping to get that soon. I keep re-inking it and it doesn't work. So I'm going to show you. I'll show you a couple completed. I think I put them to the bottom. So this is, well, I have to put a little bit more on this one. So it's these envelope clusters. And what we're going to do, yes, there's many ways you can use them. So these are ones I completed. Then I did some individual one, like a nice individual one. This is going as a gift to somebody. I did them in larger. So there's 3 envelopes, 1, 2, 3. They're faux pas envelopes. And I did this one in smaller. And then like I have some that I haven't decorated yet. I got on a roll with these. And this one I did 4. So I did a much larger one and then added smaller ones. This one that is already decorated. And then look, I have all kinds of little other ones in here to play around with. Oh, there's a tiny one I did, so you can do them in various sizes. So today we're going to make these envelopes. And I'm not going to show you how you can use them, because what we're going to do is going to be a 3-parter. We're going to make all the envelopes today. And it's not all of them. I might not get all glued together in clusters. And what we're going to do then the second part 2 will be the video on how to use them. So the reason we're going to do various sizes, because we're going to do them 2 different ways. We're going to make them like a cluster form, and even in single, as well as, I lost the, oh, here it is. As well as, like I said, it's a 3-parter. So we're going to show different ways. We're going to do small individual ones, because we're going to show different ways we can use them. I haven't finished decorating this yet, because I just came up, something popped in my head. So we're going to then decorate them and put them together. Oh, excuse me. Decorate them. So you might want to make some base clusters up. So when we go to decorate, so we're going to do that. But today, really, we're just going to make envelopes. I don't want to put that in there. So you're going to grab, oh, and like, see, this one is more neutral. And this is going to be fun to decorate. So depending on how you want things. I just got a basket and I'm throwing them all in there as I make them. So I don't have, some of my small, tiny ones you've seen, I used up my scraps. And then I decided, oh, I should do a video on this. So I have some, I printed some, and I don't have any tea dye. I've got to do some tea dyeing. So I have some there, and then I've got some new papers here. And I'm going to make them plain and as well as pattern. You can do these in book pages. I'm going to also put the lady that did this. And I'm doing them in various colors that I know I'm going to do. Plus, I'm going to be making clusters up. See, I even haven't, I have some here that I haven't even glued yet. Because this was 3 pieces of paper. And I was doing them as a set. So I still have those that I got to glue. So, oh my goodness, I can't stop yawning, guys. Oh, I just keep yawning and yawning. I'm going to move my stamps out of the way right now because we don't need those right now. And what you will need for the second part is to get labels, but you're going to want tiny labels. But we'll discuss that at the beginning of the video of the next one, and then you can grab those supplies. Okay, so right now you're just going to need your papers and your ink pad, a ruler or scissors, depending on how you want to tear it. I'm going to be using scissors and rulers, first of all, because I've got to trim. My legs are a little cold. I took my blanket off my chair, and now I'm regretting it because my legs are a little cool. I might have to go grab a blanket on you ladies. I don't know why, guys. Why do every time I turn on a video, I yawn? I just don't get it. Now I'm worried I didn't unlock this. Oh boy. Did I unlock this? Oh yes I did. Thank goodness. I don't remember unlocking it, ladies. That was the problem. I just finally got my suitcase all emptied. Now I got to stick it in its cubby hole where I slide it into a little spot because I don't have a lot of space, so I use all my space very wisely. And I've got a few, all my clothing is out. It was I ended up, we went to the Dollar Tree. I ended up a box of some of my little crafting things I bought from there and some baskets. Well, I just dropped it inside the open suitcase. And then, you know, so I took all that out and I'm going to put that all away. I'm trying to get cleaned up. This is also a good way to use some of your scraps. Maybe have random digitals laying around. Now this one, I use the back of this because I hate wasting this. This is my scanner that every once in a while to realign my printer. And you know what? I go through so much paper sometimes. I thought, you know what? You're not going to see this. So I went ahead and printed on the back of it. This is actually the video I was supposed to do today. It's called the Peace of God or Women of God. It's a Bible, and it was supposed to be a devotional type thing for a few days. But I want to show you the papers, but of course I have to print it. So with this, I want different sizes. So I'm going to make this in different sizes. You can do it vertically, or you can do it this way, depending on how you want it to look. So, I'm doing that. It is really, let me see, here's a scrap one. I'll just do this one up because actually it's the ones up there. So you just basically, somehow if you can, I'm not the best at getting this even. I don't know why I struggle with that. It's just a real struggle for me. That's a bit better. Okay, and then you fold it over. It's so easy. And then I basically fold it. I try to see where I want it to kind of fold it over. I kind of make it a little bit longer. That way I can trim it easily, but I can't add to it if I don't have enough of it. And then it tucks under here. So now I made this one just just a little bit longer than I should have, so I'm just going to clean up the edge here. As you can see, I'm barely cutting anything off because I don't want too much white to show. So then you fold it over. I go ahead and ink this now because I'm so bad at forgetting to ink it that I end up with glue. I was supposed to grab my ink and re-ink that because it is dry. And I'm finding even when I put ink on it for the first few minutes, it works, and then it doesn't work. Now, we're going to be doing decorating in 2 different ways. This might actually end up being a 4-parter. Who knows? Who knows? Because these are really nice, and I want to really show how we can use them. I'm just going to see if my ink is handy. It should be right here. Walnut pink. Well, it's supposed to be right here, but I don't know why it's not. Maybe it tipped. Vintage photo. So is there a way I can revive this ink pad, or once they're dried out, is it dead? Because it's, when I tap on it, my walnut one, it doesn't matter how much ink I put on it. Someone told me to let it absorb in for a minute. It's a messy. Sometimes I do that just to... I'm just going to let that soak for a second. I think I've got enough ink on this now to ink that up. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead, grab your glue stick. Sorry, I forgot to tell you need a glue stick. And this is the dead one. That is the dead one. And I've got to buy some glue sticks. I need to invest in some glue. Oh, you know what? I couldn't figure out what was going on. All my PDF files, I couldn't print. Oh, it was printing so tiny. That's why you see a little bit of the same paper on the back of it. And I found out somehow something got changed. I finally figured out how to fix it. I was so happy. And see, it's a faux pas little envelope. So you're going to make a few of these. I will be doing this again in May, probably more towards the end of May, since it was my first, because in my group, Junk Journal Craft and Chat, I'm going to do May Madness Mask Making. That's a mouthful, isn't it? And I'm going to have that hashtag as well. May Madness. Do I have a scrap piece of paper? It's not really a scrap one, but we'll use it. We'll take it here. So in May, if you want, the link for Junk Journal Craft and Chat is below. You can join it. If you don't want to, so it's going to be the hashtag, and you do videos, May Madness. And of course, I can't print it all the way across. Mass Making. That will be the hashtag. So all of the month of May, we're going to be doing, I think, once or twice a week. Probably at least once a week, we're going to do mask making. And then that way you can mask make for the week. So once a week, the video will be mask making. Probably Wednesdays that will happen. Wednesdays of the month of May will be that May Madness mask making. So there we go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy, as Jacob always says now. And so, like, even this one, because I went long ways with it, I can get another one of these small ones. And these small ones will be great for using on clusters and different things. So what we'll do is we'll pull out journals. So that's why I pulled out, for me personally, I pulled out some paper. And like yesterday on the video, I made a really nice blue one for the blue I'm doing on Mondays. But this I'm going to be, oh, I hadn't finished it. I had decided if I was trying to decide if I wanted that there or not. So I grabbed papers for some of the journals I need to get done. And then I'm also going to make some in groupings and sell them. So if you don't want to make them, or if you still want to buy some of mine, I will have them eventually, not right away, in my group. You know, sometimes even though we make stuff, I like, you know, you like getting some other stuff because sometimes they do it different than you. They have, oh, see what I mean? What did I forget to do, guys? I forgot to ink. This is the problem when you first do that ink. It takes a while for it to absorb. So I don't have another scrap paper here. Oh, my eye's itching, guys. Ooh. I'm gonna yawn too. Ooh. Of course I am. Because that's just the way it is. We'll take this one that's got washi tape attached to it, and we'll end up doing that one, a smaller one, and then we're going to rip another paper up. So there we go. We'll see how many we can do in this hour. All right, so you're going to, this is a great craft along because we can just sit and chat and make envelopes. So that's why it's perfect to stop the video, grab your supplies, and watch me for the first few minutes to make them, and then just sit here and do them with me. Now, if you don't want to sit the whole time here with me, I understand because it's an hour. But it's funny when you're making these how quickly. But this is a good way for you to get your mask making done. And if you don't mind the sound of my voice, then you can listen to me chat while we mask make together. So we're just going to take that, add some glue, fold it over. Oops. This is where my bone folder will come in handy, and I lost it again. I don't know how I lose that. Oh, here it is. I put it somewhere where I didn't put it away in the proper place. That's why. Especially with these little ones, sometimes this is easier to do. I think I need a bit more glue on that. And I need a bit more ink. So right now we're just making some small ones. Now, if you get a more square, that works too. I think I have a couple that's more square, and I do like that. Now, what am I going to do with that little scrap? Two things I could do with it. I could, if I wanted to, it could be great for a cluster. But I've got so many little scraps right now. I've just been keeping this old book with Avon orders, and I've been turning it into scrappy, to make my scrappy butterflies or hearts. And so I'm basically just taking my scraps when I can and throwing them on here. That way I don't get all kinds of them caught up again. Okay, so and again, here's another one I can do, a small one. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this little piece. Now, sometimes you don't even have to fold it over yeah, there we go, see? And this one, I have a bit of a tip, but I'm going to go ahead. I want to do this a little more of a square tip to it. You can do the pointed or the square, even when you're folding it. I'll show you in a second. And the reason I am inking the back, just in case I turned it into a dangle, I might want the back to be inked. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink that. Now I'm going to glue it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now the first couple took me a few minutes to get, especially that one that I seem to have troubles with. And sometimes I even have to go back and re-ink that because it just didn't fit right. So there we go. There's another one done. Okay, so now let's go on to our sizes here. So you fold over. Now, if you want it to be more square, I think if you go like this and you don't let it touch, but then I have a hard time getting it even. So I don't do that for some reason. Because as it is, I have a hard time getting that super balanced. Don't ask me why. I just do. Okay. I can't even think, guys. I don't know what's going on with me right now. My brain is asleep. Okay. Oh. See? I forgot. I need to tear this off. Silly, silly Billy. So go ahead. I want to put a bit of ink. I don't have to ink it much because there's still so much ink on it. I want to be very careful. I don't want this heavily inked. But I think I want a little bit more on this side. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to glue. Okay, there's one. Feel like it was laying right. I like this purple paper. I'm doing this because I'm going to be making that journal up, so even this one, look at that little scrap. You can go in. I may have folded one over a little too close. Now, I'm going to make it a little bit more square. I want to make sure that I go to the top so that a lot of the white isn't showing. But see that little piece of scrap? I still was able... Oh. See, I was able to make a cute, small, more square than rectangle. So you can play around with your sizing. You can make it more square. I like both. I need to make a few square ones too. Look at how cute that little one is. Ouch. I need to move that ink. Here, we'll put it up here. I have a big pimple coming out on my forehead. I want to go this way. I want some more purple to the top in this one. And I'm going to fold it over. And again, you can make it more square if you choose, just by the way you decide to tear it. Okay? This one, because of the way the paper is, I think it was automatically going to become more square. Okay, let's glue. What we're doing right now is we're taking that one piece of paper and we tore it up, right? And we're making all of our envelopes first. Then we'll play around with the envelopes. I don't know why one side seems to got more ink than the other side. I don't know. And then I made a line where I didn't want to because I didn't take enough time, but it's okay. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so there's another one made. So far out of that piece of paper, I've gotten 3 envelopes. Think this piece might be too small. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so it's too small. So it is just a scrap. Of course, this doesn't really go with that pink. See, there's one almost finished. I should have finished that one up first. Sometimes I put washi on it, but I just want to be able to put this scrap, so I'm not going to worry about it. In this case, I'll have to just watch the type of paper I use, right? Because that way, I can't even see. Some of them are old ones when I first started out, and I don't like anymore. So, you know, you learn, your style changes, all kinds of different things happen. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. So you can get a lot of envelopes from one digital paper. And again, if you want more, you can do book pages with this. The lady that I watched, and I'll try to remember to link her video, she had really nice floral book pages, which I don't have, and I can't seem to find here. I don't know if, but she had really, really, really nice floral one. Beautiful. And the book pages made such really unique envelopes. Music paper would be neat, and especially with the clusters. I'm going to have to try a couple of music. I think why I hesitated with the music paper is because when I first started making them, I was making them more with postage things on them. But you know what? It's the junk journal world. I don't have to make them officially look like an envelope. It can be pretty with lacy and, you know. And it's not that I have a ton of music books. And I've been lucky because I have had some people give me some beautiful, not vintage and antique. Because vintage and antique are two different things. And now, of course, I used to know, and now my brain has forgotten. Vintage is anything that would be 1950s. I think it's 30 years. And then antique is 30 and more, or is it 50 and more? So they do, vintage and antique are two different words referring to things that are older. So like 1970s, 60s, 50s to the now present. Now, present wouldn't be considered, I think it's 30 years. I have to relearn that now. So there's another one. And look, out of that piece of paper, I'm actually going to get another one. And this one I'm going to try to make more square. No, it wasn't small enough, but sometimes you have to make sure you can fold it, that other part over, not to go too high. Yeah. And again, I'm going to just change this up a bit, cut the tip off a bit, just a wee bit. When we go to decorate, you're going to want, if you've got bows, get your lace out, get labels. When I did labels, so that you can maybe plan ahead for the next video, I took, this was big sizes like this, and I put 2 per page and printed it so that they would be little. So this would be what my digital would have been originally. And then I just took 2 and put them on the page. Now I want to find some more labels with some floral in it. Oh, we can make an envelope out of that. Because I just printed this one regular size. And a lot of them, it doesn't fit. And I want to see, and then, so that was the 2 pages I put together. And normally this is 1 page. So I just made them smaller. I'm a stamper. So I have really great stamps, and I did these. I do sell these if this is something you're interested in. These are great. I use some of these. You can pull out some of your the big ones won't work, but some of the little ones like this will work. You can pull out some words, lace. I'm trying to think of everything you would need. And I forgot to ink this. Let's do a quick ink. Tool, paper scraps. If you have some cluster bases, that would be perfect too for when we're doing that. And if you don't have any made, make some up. I got to do that because I'm really low on bases. Maybe in between I'll do a video on bases, but I want to do that in the mass making. So there we go. There's another one. Look at that piece of paper, how many little envelopes we are getting out of this. Imagine. To go a bit higher. I cut that one a little short. There we go. I find the ruler easier to tear here because last time I cut this because I was trying to get too close, and of course I cut it. I'm going to try to do the part 2 after. What I'm going to do when this one is finished is, so I'm trying to make as many as these as possible in this video. I don't know what time we're at already, because the time does go really fast, guys. Really, really fast. That's why I said, even though I'm going to mass make these in May, it's okay, because I think these would be perfect to have on hand to embellish in many ways. There we go. There's another one. 1 piece of paper, and you see all those envelopes we've made. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to be able to fold it like this. I'm trying to see if I got... Should have folded it before putting glue there. I was jumping the gun, guys. Jumping the gun. This one isn't got as much purple to it because it's the one section. And again, I think I have to square that off because it's a little long. So I'm just going to do that so that I can have a little bit better envelope. I didn't ink. Now we'll ink it. Whoop. Put it down. Come on. That one piece does not want to lay right. I think it's just the way I cut it. There and fix that. Sorry guys, this one for some reason is giving me a problem. There we go, we finally got it. So this one doesn't have as much purple, but that's okay because it could be a little bit of a contrasting, right? Okay. We'll go back to it in a second. So now we have all our envelopes. So, really and truly, I'm trying to see how I would do this one. Could put that one like that. This one, my problem is, I'd have to use this one here. Cluster it that way. I could cluster it this way, so you can play your way around. I liked it this way, I think. But just remember, when you're clustering it, depending on the journal you plan to put it in, you just play to see. I'm not finding exactly how I want this one to go. Now, the thing you do want to remember is the size of a journal. You don't want to go too long. I'm trying to pull out just any old journal I have sitting here. Right? So you have to remember when you're putting it in how much space you have. It's hard to tell with that one, and I've got it upside down. And it doesn't go with this one, right? So I can't really go too far out on most journals. So you want to think about that when you're putting it together. And especially if you're putting one together that's a little bit smaller. Kind of like that. So we're going to hold that. Okay. So then I'm going to take a little glue on this. There's one cluster of envelopes. There we go. And then we're going to come back over here. And now nothing says it has to be 3. If you only want to do 2, you can go ahead and just do 2. I'm leaving that one individually because it just, the color of it is throwing this off. Problem is this little square one. Alright, so this might just be able to do a 2-1, but this might be perfect to put in a cluster. So we're going to just leave that like that. So there we go. We got that done. Let's grab another piece of paper. Let's go long width because I did them. Let me just do this for a second, just so that I don't knock it over. Because I'm just trying to, when I go long, I have to kind of use my lines because I'm really bad. This ruler, I have to be careful too. I need a long, straight, narrow. I'm trying my best. Obviously, I'm only getting 3 out of this. Well, I'll get more than 3 because, so now I'm tearing the opposite way. I'm making them longer. We're going to see what, tearing it different ways. And I'm going to try to do one where it doesn't attach all the way to the top. Because I tore that so well, I thought I did. I'm going to go like this. What I'm going to do for a second, guys, we're going to come and glue. We're just going to make a cup, take the 2 pieces of paper that are in our hand and go ahead. Okay. Yeah, you could do assembly line, but because I'm kind of showing you guys this, I didn't do assembly line. But if you're on your own, you could go and tear all your paper up and then just fold them all in the thing. Then you could ink them all, and then you could glue them all. It just all depends on how you prefer to work. I'm more of a finish it up, because that way I can just, as you've seen, take the clusters I did and decide what. And then all the little extras later, I'll play around with them. Okay, move this up. Move this down. Sometimes I don't put a lot of glue here, so that if I want to take, I don't have anything that's, I'm not using this one, but if I want to put this under, I don't glue it right now. I'll glue it so that the edges, you could put it underneath. Okay, so I didn't push those down really hard. Okay, there's that. What happens is I go quiet because my computer shut off. And so then it makes me quiet. I need a bit of more ink. Don't really have to, let's glue that. So these neutral ones are nice for two reasons. One, you could do this up very shabby chic, this one, because it's a lace paper I designed. And I have them in neutral colors, in pinks and purples, blues. Nobody's asked for yellow yet, but I can do yellow. I think I can do yellow. Yeah, I can do yellow. What am I talking about? Yes, I can. I can pretty much do all colors. I can do bright purple. I can do lilac purple. I can do bright pink. You name it. There's two. And you actually see, I don't know why, because I got to bring this up a little bit further. There we go. That'll work better now. Oh, because I glued down there. I should have a glue book. I say that every time. You know that, guys? And I never plan it well enough. No, I don't. Oh. One. And again, I think I'll make one square. You can make a decision if you want to do that one square. I think that's Scab. I didn't know if that was my cat. Pika causing trouble upstairs. Earlier, she was laying in my window, my one window in here, because I'm in a basement. And the sun is shining in it, and she just was stretched out there. I need to get a bed for it. So this one, I can go ahead and do a more square, because it's at the end, so it makes it a little bit easier to do the square. Now you could take this and put it in half, which maybe we'll do. There we go. Ink. This is a nice neutral one. I like color. A little glue up. Put that up. I gotta look at the time, guys. because I have a habit. You know me. I get working and then the video shuts off. Before I start the next one, I'm going to probably make a bunch of these. That way I can really show you some things, and I'm going to get all my stuff ready. But I'm hoping to make it before I go out for grocery shopping, but I might not get a chance, except for Gab is here. Jacob comes home and I'm in the mood for another tea. So let's go ahead and ink this one. So sometimes it is easier to make them up, then you don't have to keep taking your lid off and on. I find this is the great glue stick, but I find that it gets dry really quickly at the top of it, and then sometimes it'll tear the paper when I go to glue it next. So I have this habit of putting it on as soon as I use it. So depending on how well your glue is, it might be easier to go ahead and shape them all and then do all that. Up to you, like always. So this is the one we took and we tore it separately because I think I want to try a few square if I can. I just want to, and this way I can just play with it a little bit differently. And see, if you get like this, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Fix it up like that. My favorite thing is mass making, but my problem is I mass make, and then I forget to use all my mass making, and I make up as I go. So that's why I tried to think of some of the journals I'm plan to do right now, so that I can pull some papers out. Like this, I'm going to be making a journal with this paper pack, this digital, right? So I went ahead and did it. I always use pinks, and then also neutrals are great. Now I don't do a lot of grunge, so I didn't print a lot of grunge. But if you're a grunge person and most of your journals are that way, pull out that type of style of paper for yours. So depending on your style, just make the papers you're using to that. You don't have to do them shabby like some of them shabby chic. Because if you noticed in most of it, I didn't do a lot of grungy because I don't do a lot of it. I pulled out a lot of pinks and that because I do pinks and purples a lot. So what you do, you pull out that papers and you make them according to you. Do what I did. I just printed off papers that I wanted. The scraps, of course, are going to be around the type of journal I do naturally, right? If I need to pull out some paper for a journal I'm trying to finish up that I want to send to somebody as a gift, I'm just going to make that more square. That's right. Force a habit to go the other way. I always fold it over to make sure the white is not really shown. There we go. Perfect. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm going to be saying that a lot because Jacob's got me saying it. I hadn't said it in a long time. Well, at least I didn't. Maybe. But most of Jacob's English terms come from me. Because, like, geez Louise. How many people, I don't know, in the United States, do you guys use geez Louise? Or is that very English? I don't know if it comes out of the UK. I just know I say it. My grandmother said it. That's where I got it from. And she has an English-Scottish background. Well, sorry, she's English if I'm correct, her background. I don't know about her grandparents. And my grandfather, as far as I know, was a Scottish background. Now, I think he was born here in Canada, but I don't know because he was passed away when I was just a year and a half, maybe almost 2, if I remember my mom saying correctly. Now, my one grandfather, my dad's father, we were always told he was born in Ireland. And if you ask all my aunts, he was born in Ireland. But he was actually born in Liverpool, England. From what I understand, his grandmother or grandfather, one of the two, I have a hard time. I have found family in Liverpool, and they've done a lot of research. I don't understand it all. You get into the greats and greats, and I get lost, to be honest with you. I'm going to do this one more like this. So you can arrange them different ways. For some reason, the square came a little bit easier for me than the rectangle. And maybe I'll put this one up like that. And this like this. See, I changed it even by the time I did it. That one came together really quickly, didn't it? Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I want to kind of show the tip of that envelope. There we go. There's another one done. And what do we have here? Now I could make 3 out of this. I might start making them more square. I'm having a harder time with these rectangle ones. I think this might become... But, you know, so he wasn't born. Now, he came here to Canada when he was a young man. If I'm correct, 15 or 16. But he came with no family members. I guess at that time, the YMC would bring young boys over to work the farms. And so he came with the YMC all by himself. Can you imagine? I couldn't imagine at that age leaving my family. And I think he only seen his mother one more time. And that was when in World War II he was overseas. And if I remember the story correctly, him and his brothers were based in 2 other of his brothers were based in the same area. And they all got leave at the same time and went and seen her. If I'm correct. I'm going to look at the time, guys. See what we have left in time. Because, you know, oh, we're already at 7 minutes, guys. 7 minutes. Oh, my goodness. So, when you see part 2, you might want to get a lot of yours made up before you do. Now, a nice one, too, are these collage ones. I like the collage paper. Now, it's 7 minutes we have left. I'm sure I'm not going to make all of these in 7 minutes. But anyways, as I was saying, and I'm going to say my goodbye, and I'm going to talk till it ends. So, when my dad's dad, passed away when I was just about 2. I lost both my grandfathers, my mom's father, my dad's father, right around when I was 2. His mother was still alive when he passed away. And she was sick, and she was trying to find him. And through the YMC, and by the time they got back to her and let her, just before she died, they found out he had already passed. Can you imagine? I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. And then I think I'll rip. So, and then she passed soon after him. Now, my grandfather was a fairly young man, and my grandmother, my dad's mother, was a very young woman. My mom never met her. She passed when, in fact, the oldest brother, my Uncle Jim, took care of the two youngest. Because there was 7 of them. And I don't even know. There was a lot of, my grandfather had a lot of brothers and sisters. And I've met some of my grandfather's brothers. Most of them have passed now. I think there's only one left. I've only ever met one personally one time, and that was my great Uncle Doug. He found my family, and he started coming over for visits. And he actually attended my wedding and my sister's wedding. Isn't that cool? So, before, I'm going to make a part 2, and it's going to be on decorating these. So before you watch that video, either you can make a few of these up, or you can just watch it and do it all at one time, and then go from there. So it all depends on how you want to do it. Okay? Sometimes you might want to look at, like, I'm going to pull this one right up. See, now I'm going to switch this around, because you got to look at sometimes when you fold it up, especially when it's got flowers. Sometimes you don't get that flower on the front. And I didn't think about that when I cut it. No, I'm not going to get any of that flower on the front. Isn't that sad? So hopefully one of them I get that flower on. Let's hope. Alright, let's see. I'm going to leave them like that because you've seen me fold them. You don't need to see me ink them and glue them. So in this case, this one, I'm not going to get any of the flower. But if I go this way, I still won't get any of the flower. I would have to tear it. I don't know if this is going to work, guys. I'm going to attempt to try it. We're going to see. I'm going to do it upside down, too, to see if I can get some of the flower. I'm going to attempt. Let's hope. No. Isn't that sad? I have no way of getting that flower. I'm playing with it, guys. I'm trying to see if I can get any of that flower in there. I should have trimmed some of that off that way. Oh, darn it all. Oh, well. So maybe that paper wasn't the... It's still a nice envelope. Don't get me wrong. It's still nice. But I would have liked... I don't know if this is going to be... Now I think this might be too small to get an envelope out of. So that's going to become a scrap. This one, I'll get some flower. Let's hope. Come on. Meet me, meet me, meet me. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And good luck with the mask making. And get some made up. And then we'll decorate them together. Or you can watch me decorate them and then do it all at one time if you want. You do it the way you feel most comfortable. And then we'll do a third part where we'll pull out our journals and put them in journals. Or if you don't have journals ready, you can just watch. Again, this might be too small. It might not be. Who knows? We'll see. We're about to find out, aren't we, guys? Sometimes when it's like that, just take it, cut off the tip, make it a more square, and look, it still works. It still works. Let's ink that up. And I'll just show you because, you know, we haven't shut off yet. And I want everybody to have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. A winkin'. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. Please comment and like the video. It really helps, even if it's just a heart. it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Help me build my YouTube channel and get seen more often. If there's something you would like me to do, mention it in the comment.